Hello friends, Miranda Joy here. Today is December 15th and I have now had my dreadlocks for 6 months now. I started them back June 14th, back this past summer, and they are coming along nicely. They're in a really awkward stage right now. I think they're just trying to figure out where they belong. My last video they were just bleached blonde. I actually did dye them blue. They're faded quite a bit now, but they were quite bright blue. I'll show you some photos from when I first dyed them blue. But they've actually matured so much, like to the point now that they actually look like little dreadlocks. Now when I get compliments on the street, it's not just, hey, I like your hair, it's usually, hey, I dig your dreads, which I think I find so much fun that people can actually tell that these are dreadlocks now. The back of my head is still being very slow to dread up. As you can see, it's still pretty much just loose hair. It's starting to kind of get the idea back here. It's almost just like they're being like free-form dreads on the back, honestly, because I'll twist and rip these hairs, but they just end up falling out. Like I did some twisting and ripping this morning, not really all that seriously, but these are already pretty much coming loose. So I basically decided I just need to kind of wait for those to just kind of do their own thing. It's just going to take a little while, and I'm okay with that. The rest of my hair is maturing pretty nicely. I think honestly my trip to Australia and New Zealand did my hair a huge favor, because the entire time I was gone for an entire month. The entire time I was gone, I didn't give my hair a whole lot of attention. Like I didn't do a whole lot of extra like maintenance on my dreads. And we were out in the elements a lot. I was out in the oceans, snorkeling. I went swimming with seals, and we went hiking and did all this great stuff that really affected my hair. Driving with the windows down, we did road tripping all the way up the Queensland coast, which was so much fun. But yeah, my hair tightened up so much during that trip. Even in my last video, my update video, my 3-month video, I just watched it again, and my hair it still just doesn't even look like dreadlocks in that video, even though there were little dreads in there. But now it's like, yeah, these are actually dreads. And please forgive my birds. They're trying to get some attention right now. Hi, Lord. Hi, buddy. What you doing? Making all this noise? Wanting some attention? Now you got nothing to say. Hi, buddy. Yes, a heart wings. You're a good boy. Hi, Fable. How are you doing, sweetheart? How are you? Are you being a good birdie? You were always a good birdie. They have their own Christmas stockings. I have put some wraps in my dreads. As you can see, this is just acrylic yarn, nothing special. I just did some red and some white. I thought that would be pretty fun for Christmas. It's just around the corner. Oh, and I'm wearing my my little snowman earrings. These are like my favorite things to wear around Christmas time. They're probably the tackiest piece of jewelry I own, but my mom gave them to me a few years back just as a sweet little gift, and I love wearing them at Christmas time, and I've been wearing them for the past few years every Christmas time whenever I get the chance to be festive. So I thought I'd share them with you. I was talking about the wraps in my hair. I've done this not just for decoration, but actually for a very practical purpose. One thing that I did notice with my dreads, even though they were maturing up really well, actually becoming quite dense, they were really, really thin. Like a lot of them were super thin, to the point that I was afraid that they were getting weak, because like the roots would be really thin, and I actually had a couple of my dreads break during my trip to Australia. They were all right along like my hairline right here, like the top of my side cut, and I don't know if it's because those are the ones I kind of would fiddle with the most or whatever, but they were all super thin and they just kind of broke off, and that, not like right at the root, but about halfway down, and it kind of freaked me out, because I'm like, oh my gosh, are my dreads just gonna all snap in half once they start maturing? Because those ones were really, really dense and mature at that point, some of the most mature ones that I had, and they just broke, and it was kind of scary. So I've been doing some different things to try to get my dreads to Congo together. I did try doing a little bit of crocheting, even though I said I wouldn't do crocheting. I did try, but it really wasn't working that well for me, because they are already getting pretty dense. Like that one's not too dense. Let me find a good one. Let's see. Like this one here is already like super dense, if you can see that, guys. Like, it's already dense, obviously not the tip, it's still really wispy at the tip, but all the way through the mid shaft, it is still really, it's like really dense. And so when I tried to go in with the crochet hook and like join it up with one next to it, like these two together, you know, they were just so dense that it was like the needle wasn't going through. Even though it was a really small needle and a little small hook, it wasn't really going through, it wasn't pulling hairs through, and I felt like I was doing more damage than good. I was able to successfully join some of them, like, where's that guy? This guy here, you can see he's still kind of split near the tip, but for the most part he's joined right here at the root, so I'm just kind of leaving him alone. So that was the first thing I did to try to join some of my dreads. Don't really recommend it, but if your hair is still super like soft and spongy, and they're too small and you want them to join together, you might try crocheting, but if they're already really dense, don't even try. I'm afraid it's just gonna break it. So then I started putting beads on my hair, like by taking two really thin strands together and putting beads on them, so it like forced them to stay together and start to knot up. And that worked for some of them, but other ones it just really wasn't doing anything. So my current experiment, I've only had these in for probably about a week now, is to take the two dreads that I want to join together and wrap them. Now, the thing that I'm hoping to happen is that they'll start to join at the roots here. I don't expect them to actually join together in the length. Like, honestly, wrapping it can actually hinder that locking process. So I don't recommend you wrap them until they're actually pretty mature where you want them to be. But all I want is for them to join here at the roots. So we'll see how well that goes. I'm going to leave them in for a couple weeks, take them out and see how it works, and maybe rewrap them again. I do have several of them that have joined together just at the roots. Here's a good one. See how it's still split at the tip? But right here at the roots, it's really nice and dense, and they're stuck together. They're gonna stay together at this point. Yeah, so that's kind of my current method that I'm using. And like I said, I did dye my hair blue again because I stopped working at Turtle Bay where I wasn't allowed to have colored hair anymore. I finished the job for the season so I can have blue hair again. But I did stop bleaching my hair. As you can see, my roots have grown in significantly. Because I had some breakage on the trip, I was afraid that maybe the hair couldn't take any more bleaching, that I was just doing too much damage to it. Even though it still felt really good and stuff, I've just got a little paranoid. So I decided to just grow my roots out, but you know, not try to dye it back brown or anything. I'm just gonna keep dyeing it blue. It's fun and spunky, and I don't really care that much if you can see my roots, to be honest. I think it will end up looking fine. When my hair's grown out, I'll just end up having like lighter tips, and I think it'll actually look kind of cool. I'm still cutting my side cuts, which I still like that. Now I'm going to do a quick spin around so you can see the back of my head. You can see some of these guys. Oh. Now, I'm having bad hair days galore right now because something that with the maturing of my dreads, they're starting to get weighed down on the top of my head, so they're not like as fluffy and spunky as they were, like say in my 3-month video. So they're just kind of in that awkward stage. They don't really know where to go, but that's okay. It's winter time, obviously. We have a lot of rain and it's been kind of cold, so my solution recently is just to wear a lot of hats and headbands, which looks fine. My favorite hat right now is just this little red one, which I'm going to put on really quickly. Yep, which I love this right now because all this can just kind of hang out. And the rest is all covered up in the back. So that's one of my favorite hats. I love that. And then I made a yellow hat. Let's see if I can find that real quick. Here's my yellow hat, which is real slouchy, more like a slouchy beanie, which I've been wearing this one a lot too. Yellow's not really like my favorite color, but it looks super good with the blue. So there's this, and it's kind of slouchy in the back, you see? So I've really liked that. And then for my birthday, my dear friend Nikki, who I went to Australia with, she got me this little silk scarf that has this photo printed on it from a riverbed that I went hiking alongside when I was in New Zealand. It was in the Bethells Beach area. and which is so beautiful, by the way. Oh my gosh, go to Bethel's Beach. It's like the most magical beach you'll ever go to. But this is like the dry riverbed. And so she got me this scarf, which I've worn as a headband. Let me see if I can do this real quick, make it look good. Like this. And then I just kind of tuck the ends up in here. I don't even really tie a knot, I just kind of tuck it in. So it's like got this twisted look to it. And this. It's been one of my favorite accessories recently because it's gray. It kind of goes with almost everything. Alright, so I didn't really like take the time to do this really well. And I'm not looking in a mirror, I'm looking at a camera. But this is what this looks like. Which I really enjoyed that. And I've just had a lot of other headbands and stuff. Well guys, I guess that's it for my update right now. If you guys have any questions about my dreads or about anything else, please go ahead and post them down below. I'll try to get back to you as quickly as I can. But yeah, mostly just wanted to show you how they were coming. This is what my short dreads look like at 6 months. I am excited to see how well they progress. I don't know if I will be posting a video every month, because I actually like doing it every few months because you can see a whole lot more progress that way instead of like I think month after month after month. Sometimes it's hard to see the changes, but you can definitely see the changes now from the last video I did. So we'll see. Yeah, thank you guys all for watching, and I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. Mwah. I love you all. Bye.